What is going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden J here. What's going on, everyone? I hope everyone is doing extremely well. Not doing too great, to be honest with you guys. The Mets are really in a hard slump right now. It really is not the time to be all, up and about and excited with the Mets. It's a tough time in the world of the New York Mets. This obviously was one of the most toughest weeks for the Mets. They dropped from first place all the way to third place in the matter of 3 days. So it's pretty unfortunate, but I hope everyone's doing extremely well. Please, before we get started, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, and share this channel with your friends, your family. If you have to make an account for your dog, please do. It would really help out. But yeah, otherwise, let's stop wasting any time and, let's just dive right into all the good stuff. Let's get into what, really went down with the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies this series, because clearly things were not going the Mets' way. So simply enough to start Friday's game, the New York Mets unfortunately fell 4-2. Marcus Strowman was on the bump for the New York Mets. It was a pretty solid start. Taking a look at his starts, 5-2. 2 earned runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. So pretty solid for the Showman himself. Really no complaints for him. Obviously, you have to get run support in these situations, which he was not. Strowman, so like we said, he pitched solid. That splitter slider was really in effect. But sadly, he kept the ball on the ground for the most part. But there's some times where you can't do that. Loop and Lugo did come in, both to pitch an inning each. Solid starts for them. As always, we had Edwin Diaz, who came in a non-save situation. Whether Diaz is good in non-save situations, let you guys figure that out. I'm not going to get into that whole spiel today. But Diaz came in a non-save situation, 1 inning pitched, 2 runs, 2 hits, and a strikeout. People say, well, why did you use Diaz today? That makes zero sense. And honestly, I think the only reason we really used Edwin Diaz, well, because he was coming back from, obviously, his wife did have a child, so he was coming back from that. The Mets, he didn't pitch for 5 days, so the Mets really wanted to get him back in his routine in terms of pitching and stuff. That was pretty good to see. I enjoyed seeing Edwin Diaz back in the bump for the Mets, but obviously, I would like to see it in a save situation. So that was pretty unfortunate overall with Diaz. But yeah, the offense really struggled, no doubt about it. The offense was just really not there. We had Dominic Smith had an RBI single, and then obviously Jonathan Villar did hit a solo home run, and that was pretty it. Only 2 runs for the Mets. So game 1 was really unfortunate for this Mets team. In terms of game 2 kind of started to lighten up a little bit. The Mets won. The Mets lost 5-3. We had Tyler McGill on the bump for the New York Mets. Honestly, Tyler McGill, nothing incredibly, terrible with him. 4.2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Tyler McGill, pretty solid, really, no complaints for him. The 5 inning is really when he kind of collapsed a little bit. So that's really was pretty unfortunate to see. The 5th inning, I think, is really what's going to come down for McGill if he could stay hot and ready. And then I will say McGill's, strikeout to walk ratio is pretty solid. It's 4-1, so that's pretty good to see. We had Castro and Drew Smith, obviously, who came 1.1 innings pitched, pretty solid. Really no honestly complaints with them. So good to see out of those guys. Let's see what else we got. And then we had Genji Diaz, who came in. One guy who's been honestly pretty underrated, in my opinion, this season. Really no complaints with Genji. 2.2 innings pitched, 2 hits, and allowed 1 run. In terms of the offense for this game, the offense was literally not there. In terms of this offense, we had nobody really was alive. The offense tried to come back in the 9th inning. I give them props. We were struggling through the first 8 innings, and then in the 9th inning, the New York Mets did something unusual, something they usually don't do, and really around MLB, that MLB teams typically don't do, and that is to hit back-to-back home runs. And you may ask, well, who hit all those back-to-back-to-back home runs? Well, Michael Conforto started it off. Jonathan VR came up second. And James McCann got the third home run. Something you usually don't see a lot in baseball. So it's pretty good to see that. But sadly, the Mets couldn't get anything else on. They had the two tying runs on base with no outs. And then McNeil struck out. And then, Alonso pop flied. And then, just not a very good second, game for the New York Mets. And then in terms of Sunday's game, just the Mets lost. We got swept. Big surprise. Walker, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 1 strikeout. So nothing crazy with Walker. I think, honestly, in terms of Taijuan Walker, a lot of people were upset by his performance. Yes, he is giving up the long ball a lot, and I think that's something we've been seeing. His slider isn't effective as much. He's not doing terrible. I think he's getting, to an extent, similar results what he got in the first half. It's just mechanically he's changed. The slider isn't effective. His two-seam fastball has a lot less movement on it. And pretty much that obviously is there to prevent the long ball. And obviously it is less movement, so it's finding more plate. So hitters are hitting it more, and it's resulting in a home run. So kind of something, I don't know if you want to say something like a Trevor Bauer, but that's always something to think of. So pretty not the best start for Taijuan Walker, but he kind of got into his rhythm. Just, pitchers, they need run support. I mean, simply just ask Jacob deGrom. Pitchers can only do so much. I mean, and, they can only hit so much. So that's something that I'm hoping the Mets could really start to really get out of. And then Familia came in, an inning pitched, 1 hit. And then we had Trevor May come in, inning pitched, struck out the side. So good to see. Trevor May's been very effective this year, I will say. And then honestly, pretty much no offense. The offense was not there at all. We had 2 hits from the whole game. Brandon Nimmo started off with a double, and then in the 9th, he got a base hit. And then obviously Michael Conforto drew the only walk of this game. Zach Wheeler pitched a shutout, one of his best outings of his career. Props to Zach Wheeler, no doubt about it. He really came into effect this game, and sadly it had to be hit against the former rival team in the New York Mets. So pretty unfortunate. Zach Wheeler, I think, honestly, could have a strong chance of winning MVP this season. Simply enough to say, I mean, you have DeGrom out, you have Fernando Tatis Jr. out. So that pretty much makes the chances higher for Zach Wheeler and even Cy Young. I mean, I meant to say Cy Young, but he could even win MVP if he keeps it up. So yeah, just overall not the best start you want to see out of the Mets, and Zach Wheeler doing it against a his former club. But now getting into the Mets and Phillies series, pretty much just the series was not there. We're hitting the ball hard. Like I said, we're making good contact with the ball. The hard hit rate, barrels, we're getting it. It's just, if you want to say unlucky, it's finding an outfielder's glove. If you want to blame the shift too, you could. A lot of guys are having difficulties beating the shift. Michael Conforto, Pete Alonso had a lot of that in 2019 and 2020. He's starting to handle that. You have McNeil, who is definitely a big, hitter, and like Pete Alonso said in his press conference yesterday, baseball is such a result-oriented game that, if something happens, well, it's going to end bad for the Mets, and that's kind of what has. I mean, we're hitting the ball well. It's finding a glove. And I mean, you could honestly blame the shift too. I think the shift is something that could immediately be blamed. Mets are going to have to find a way, though. They really are. But that was really it with the Mets and Phillies. Phillies are in first place. Mets are in third place. They're 2.5 games back. And you have the Atlanta Braves in second place. So, good for them, I suppose. They've been very hot, both of those teams. But now getting into the New York Mets and Washington Nationals series summary. The New York Mets are going back home. They had a long bus ride home, a lot of time to think. Hopefully they went over some stuff. But at 7:10 tomorrow, the New York Mets will be playing back in Citi Field against the Washington Nationals for Game 1 tomorrow at 7:10. And we will have Espino on the bump for the Washington Nationals. 3-3 on the season, 3.66 ERA. 49 strikeouts. I mean, honestly, nothing overall crazy with him. He has a weak fastball. He limits walks. and he does give up a lot of hard contact. So I think hard contact is something the Mets definitely need some desire to have. I mean, whether it's hitting the ball lightly and not hitting the ball good enough, the Mets really need something with that. So hopefully something can get through with the Mets. And then obviously on the bump for the New York Mets, it'll be Carlos Carrasco. Doesn't have a record so far, obviously. This will be his third start for the Mets. 3.24 ERA and 9 strikeouts. We did see in his last few starts with the Mets, he increased that sinker ball a little bit, so I found that a little intriguing. But like we said, this is going to be his third start. He has yet, I think, really to go 5 innings with this Mets team. So, definitely the bullpen hasn't been taxed as much recently, I've noticed. Our relievers are going, our starters are going out there every day and pitching at least 5-6 innings. It's just going to come to the point is, you don't want to tax your bullpen. And, obviously that makes sense. You don't want to tax your bullpen, especially, and you see what's been going on. Familia is starting to crack a little bit. So hopefully Carrasco could at least give you a fair amount of innings. That'll be something I would like to see. Now getting into game 2, which will be Wednesday's game at 7:10. We will have Joe Ross on the bump for the Washington Nationals. Nothing too crazy with him either. 5-9 on the season, 4.02 ERA and 107 strikeouts. Like we said, nothing fancy, but the exit velocity does go in his favor. And then obviously for the Mets, we'll have Marcus Strowman. He's been pitching well, just not getting any run support. 7-11 on the season, 2.83 ERA, and 106 strikeouts. We've been seeing he's been using that splitter slider a lot. If it splits properly before it goes over the plate, it results in a lot of swinging and misses to result in strikeouts, obviously. And pretty much with Strowman, what you want to see in Marcus Strowman is the ground ball to fly ball ratio be more in favor of ground balls. That way you could show the splitter slider is really being effective. So that's game 2. In terms of game 3, which will be the final game of this series, it'll be on Thursday at 12:10. Not too big on these 12:10 starts. I did go to a 12-10 game start in Miami with the Mets and Marlins last Thursday, but I believe probably the Mets or Nationals have to travel. I think it's probably the Nationals probably have to travel somewhere far, so they have to get the game ended soonly. So we will have Eric Fetty coming on the bump for the Nationals, 4-8 on the season, 5.15 ERA, 79 strikeouts. He does give up a lot of hard contact, but he's not really a fastball pitcher, so that's good. The Mets are really, really, really struggling with fastballs so far this season, and it's pretty concerning because you see our minor leaguers, Francisco Alvarez, Bet Beatty, they're hitting fastballs better, and this team just cannot hit a fastball. And I'm not talking about the high and in fastball, just a fastball in general. So Mets got to wake up and be able to hit the fastball, because if you're a major leaguer and you can't hit a fastball, that's a little bit concerning. And like we said, Eric Fetty, he does walk a lot, so nothing too crazy with him. But I think it'll be an advantage. He's not a fastball pitcher, like we stated. And then obviously on the bump, we will have Rich Hill for the New York Mets. Doesn't have a record yet so far. Has an ERA of 4.20 and 8 strikeouts in his Mets starts. He's pretty effective for the most part. He limits innings pitched, to be honest with you. I would let him not go super deep into the game, because we see he's older. He's 41. He is effective, but once he goes into the 4th, 5th inning, that's where he really kind of starts to kind of quiet down, lose command of the strike zone, leave balls over the plate, and it results in contact. So that's something I want to see in Rich Hill. Hopefully he could go at least 4 or 5 innings. Obviously, the goal for Rich Hill is when everyone is healthy, is for him to be a reliever. And he does have his nasty, nasty, famous curveball. I love the curveball that he has. It's awesome. Like 70-mile-per-hour curveball. Like, who does that? We have 3 games coming against the Nationals. That's it. Nationals, they've had a big, trade deadline. They sent Trey Turner away. They sent Max Scherzer away. They called up a lot of their prospects, Carter Kieboom. So that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. But in terms of the Nationals, they are 18th in runs scored, 3rd in average, 5th in on-base percentage, and 10th in slugging. They're coming into this series 50-62 on the season. So hopefully the Mets could really get something going in this 3-game series. You're coming to a point where the Mets are now 1 game above 500. And obviously one more loss, do the math, would leave us at 500. So that's something you just do not want to see in this Mets team, is for us to be below 500. So hopefully the Mets could really just get something going. That's what this Mets team really needs to get going. But yeah, so that's really it with the New York Mets and Washington Nationals series summary, and then the New York Mets and Philadelphia Phillies series preview. So yeah, I appreciate everyone for tuning in and joining as always. Obviously, now I will be going over questions. If anyone has any questions in the chat, please feel free to drop them below. I will definitely read all of them. I never miss a question. So yeah, let me just give me 2 seconds. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for tuning in as always. If you can, give this video a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more great New York Mets and baseball content. Share this stream, share this channel with your friends. If you have to make an account for your dog, your cat, whatever you got to do, let's get the channel out there more. So obviously, what's going on, Galapagos? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, big weekend ahead, man. Huge weekend ahead. Rob Manfred, what's going on? Connor, yes, everyone, please listen to Connor's advice. I like that advice. AB, what's going on, man? Yeah, I think Connor, I believe he's a Red Sox fan, I think. Mets are in a terrible position. Yeah, the Mets are really struggling so far. It's coming to a part where it's a big slump. I mean, this team can't even get on base. I mean, we're not even drawing walks, and that's what, honestly, the Mets have been accustomed to doing. So the Mets are really just starting to get in that slump, but they got to get hot, and I think they will. I think there'll be a point where, something's got to change, with the Mets. Like we said, all the names are here. You have Jeff McNeil. You have Pete Alonso. It just comes to the point is we're not seeing the results that we want to see. And, that makes sense. But yeah, Connor is a Red Sox fan. I appreciate you, Connor. Quentin, what's going on, man? LFGM, I appreciate it. Karen, what's going on? Mets Hub, Alexander, Michael. From Michael, tough week. And for the Mets, however, I'm hoping they could turn the ship around in the National Series. You got to believe. Yeah, definitely, the Mets definitely need to turn the ship around somehow. I just think it comes to the point where I don't want it to be too late. Pretty much, obviously, going ahead with the Mets, that's what happened in 2019 is the Mets had really only one issue in 2019. And what was that one issue? Was the bullpen. The Mets got hot, and they were able to contain the bullpen to some extent. To some extent, they were able to contain the bullpen. It was just really, really too late. So it just sucks to see what's going on with the Mets right now in the world of the Mets. It really does suck. I mean, like Pete Alonso said in his press conference yesterday, everyone's upset. And I mean, it comes to the point is, who do you blame for it? That's really been brought up. But I'm really hoping something can change soon. And something really has to change, or else there's going to be mass firings. But yeah, Michael, listen, positivity is something, as you guys know, I am literally the most negative Mets fan ever. So yeah, telling me I got to believe is definitely going to be something very complex for me to do. Merlin, what's going on? Marco, who do you blame for the offensive struggles? Yeah, I kind of did state that just a minute ago. To be honest with you, Marco, you could blame whoever you want. You could blame your mailman. You could blame Sandy Alderson. You could blame Quattlebaum. You could even blame D. Sarcina for not sending runners when there's a runner in scoring position. But honestly, to be honest with you, I'm blaming a little bit of everyone. Obviously, the players are a big category to blame because they go out there every day and they're the ones stepping on the field. So obviously, the players could definitely be one to blame. You could blame Sandy Alderson. You could have blamed Sandy Alderson for his approach coming in to this trade deadline. We saw Sandy Alderson kind of was pretty quiet during the trade deadline, and he kind of let Zach Scott do most of the work. So then obviously you're getting into the topic of Zach Scott, and I think he could easily be blamed. At this deadline, he really didn't approach anything that was needed. Offense was struggling. Who do you get? You get a guy with an extreme low. I don't care about average. If you want to say average, he has a low average, but he has an extreme low on-base percentage. Yes, he hits with lefties, but what you gave up for him is really something you do not want to see. And simply enough, I blame Sandy Alderson. I blame Zach Scott. I mean, you could blame Luis Rojas, obviously, for a lot of the situations. I mean, in terms of, I think it was the first or second game of the Phillies series, we saw with the New York Mets, we had bases loaded and Marcus Strowman come up to the dish with no outs. And Rojas said, don't swing. Well, at least try to get a double play, score a run, get the lead. So I think you could blame Rojas. I think you could blame Sandy Alderson. I think you could blame Zach Scott. You really could blame anyone you want. The players, I'm blaming a little bit of everyone, really, to be honest with you, Marco. YouTube Productions, what's going on, man? I appreciate you tuning in. Nick, the Mets need DeGrom and Lindor back. Yeah, I mean, those guys could really only do so much. I mean, my concern is that when Lindor was here, he wasn't really doing a whole lot. And then DeGrom can only just go out there and pitch. But if you're not getting any run support, well, what are you going to get? I mean, yeah, DeGrom can get his own run support, sure. But I don't know. I agree with you. I mean, maybe in terms of the chemistry, it could help out a little bit, especially on the mound. We know that the Mets have stated that, Lindor helps out guys like Edwin Diaz, but comes to the point is, you're a major leaguer. You got to figure it out yourself. Mr. Cool, what's going on? I like the profile picture. That would be pretty interesting if that has happened, though. The Yank from TP35, what's going on, man? I appreciate you tuning in. The Yanks feel the same way in third place. Yeah, I mean, both teams, the Yankees are in third place, but they're getting hot. I think they've won a good portion of their games since the trade deadline. Anthony Rizzo has tested positive, yes, but before he tested positive, Rizzo was playing pretty well. Gallo was playing pretty well. And those two guys were the two bats, I guess, kind of to ignite the offense, to be honest with you. So good for the Yankees. They needed offensive moves. They got it. I will say they lacked pitching, which big surprise. I mean, baseball teams lacking what they really need, kind of like the Mets. But yeah, so I feel you, man. I feel you. From Quentin, I have to be honest. When the Mets hit those 3 back-to-back home runs, I thought it would start something going for the Mets the next day, but sadly nothing happened. Yeah, man, you're right. I was kind of on the same boat with you. I thought maybe it could help, to some extent ignite the offense. I mean, it's sad to say that Michael Conforto was probably our best hitter in this series, and he gave us what, like a walk, like five strikeouts, a hit and a home run. I mean, that's pretty concerning to say. So hopefully Mets can get something changing soon. I mean, they'll need to. And I thought too, man, everyone before the game was seeming so positive. They're like, oh, we had Steve Cohen visit the clubhouse, which I don't know what that's going to help with. Maybe to calm people or take money in front of Conforto's face and say, do something or else you don't make money. I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting point, Quentin. I was hoping it too. Maryland, yes. From Joe, after living through the Mets collapses of 07 and 08, you could handle any collapse. No, that's true, Joe. I definitely could see where you're coming from. I was to an extent pretty young in 07 and 08, so I wasn't really too big into baseball then. I followed it, but I didn't really care much what the result was. I just liked the good Mets ball game. Where nowadays, obviously, I look at it at a deeper view. And yeah, I mean, obviously, the Mets have had their struggles. Would you rather the Mets play like they are now or how they were playing in 2018, when they're, fourth in the division and, like 12, 15 games under 500. So, yeah, I understand. I definitely could see your point, Joe. Giovanni backs him up by saying, this isn't as bad as 2007. The Mets are struggling now, but they can catch up and still win the division. Yeah, man, you have a valid point. The Mets definitely could still catch up. It just comes to the point is, well, when? I mean, the Mets only have so many more games left, If it was July or June, yeah, I'd say, okay, yeah, we have the deadline coming up. Let's waste some time a bit. But now we don't have much time. You're approaching a quarter into August, and, it comes to the point now is that, the Mets got to start getting serious. You need to start winning. The Mets, everyone says the Mets have a hard schedule. Yes, you have that Dodgers-Giants series. I believe that's the correct order. And then, everyone's talking about the Phillies schedule being easy. But to be honest with you, Phillies schedules, I mean, you're playing the Dodgers, you're playing the Brewers. Let's see who else the Phillies are playing. Because they said it was easy, but I mean, I didn't think it looked that easy, to be honest with you. So let's take a look. See, Phillies schedule. And I can share my screen. So let's take a look-see at the Phillies schedule coming in following the Mets series. So simply enough, taking a look at the Phillies schedule, people say it's easy, but I don't really see where they're coming from. You got the Dodgers. That's going to be a task. You got the Reds. The Reds are hot. Their offense is hot. You got the D-backs. Okay, I could see that point. You got the Padres. They're slowing down, but their pitching's still good. Their offense is still good. You got the Rays, pretty complex. You got the D-backs. Okay. I mean, Brewers, I guess I could see where you're coming from, but you're going to have some games where it's going to be a challenge for the Phillies. So I didn't really understand that point, but you know what? We'll see. Teams of surprise teams. I mean, I didn't expect the Phillies to go on a 9-game, 8-game winning streak. So you never know. We're going to have to see how the Mets and Phillies, and even the Braves too. Personally, I think someone said it in the chat before. I mean, I'm more focused on the Braves. I mean, yeah, the Braves don't have pitching, but their offense has been pretty on fire recently. So the Braves needed outfielding. They needed a couple extra bats, and they got Jock Peterson, and it's been helping out with them. Who do you think the Mets will pursue this offseason? That's a good question. Honestly, I mean, I don't really know what really to say because, I mean, I think it's going to depend what the result of the season is. If the Mets mysteriously manage to pull together and make the playoffs, it depends how far they get in, and that could really address their weakness. Obviously, pitching would always be nice. It comes to the question is, it's a walk year for Strowman. It comes to the question is, can we trust Syndergaard? Could we trust Walker? And then that really just leaves us with DeGrom and McGill. Obviously, the bullpen, a lot of our bullpen guys are on one-year deals. So it depends if any of those guys are going to walk. So I'm always down to some pitching, bullpen pitching, starting pitching. Is JD Davis going to go? Are we going to say goodbye to JD Davis? Lindor's handle at shortstop. McNeil's at second. Alonso's at first. Are we going to sign Conforto? That's the big thing. Are we giving Conforto a qualifying offer, which I've been constantly saying, or are we going to give Conforto his money? I don't think he's going to get his money at this point so far. So it's going to be a big thing. I think right fielder could be something to pursue in. I think starting pitching, believe it or not, maybe a shortstop. I would love Correa on the Mets, to be honest with you. But you could always shift him to third and then move Baez to second, move McNeil to right field, and then say goodbye to Conforto and Davis. Trades are always on the table too. Do you think the Mets could fix their issues in time? Yeah, Colby, that's the real question. That is the real question: is can the Mets fix their issues in time? I hope so. I really hope so. They have to, or else they simply enough will not make the playoffs. So that's really what it's going to come down to: is can they fix their issues in time? I don't know. Hopefully. I mean, I would like them to fix their issues. And listen, all teams, I understand. Yeah, teams have their slumps, but I've never really seen a slump like this. This is a pretty bad slump where, we're not really hitting. I mean, we're not really doing anything. So hopefully the Mets could really get out of that slump because they need to, or else they will not be in the playoffs. So I hope so, Kobe. LFGM, yes. You mean Bryce Harper? Yeah, Bryce Harper, honestly. Harper, he has been balling recently. Taking a look at Bryce Harper recently. Let's take a look-see at Bryce Harper. He has been playing extremely well. But please, everyone, before that, give this video a like, comment, subscribe, drop an LFGM in the chat below. Taking a look at Bryce Harper. Yeah, Harper has been balling. Let's see how Bryce Harper has been. He's really coming to himself the second half, and I've seen something's changed with him a little bit. I think in his swing with his elbow, I mechanically some stuff has changed. Yeah, I mean 3.4 WAR, 97 hits, 20 homers, 302 average, 45 ribbies, 12 stolen bases, an OPS of 983. So that's what you like to see, an OPS of almost to 1,000. So that really shows something good. And then obviously he offers that great speed in the base pass. So yeah, he's really showing something. Alexander, I've been watching. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you tuning in. Nick, LFGM, yes. I hope Zach. Yeah, I mean Zach Wheeler, he could win a Cy Young. So far, he's been looking good out there. He's Roy Halladay Day. Zach Wheeler has been pitching marvelously this year, and I think DeGrom, if he can come back and pitch like 10 games and have them all like shutouts, yeah, I think he has a chance. But I think Zach Wheeler probably is the best chance so far right now, to be honest with you guys. LGM, yes. What's going on? Fire. Sandy Alderson. Yeah, I could see where you're coming from, man. Sandy Alderson definitely has a lot to his head that people do not like of him right now, and I don't blame them. Yeah, Mets, I agree with you, Merlin. Mets have to win the National Series. Take 2 out of 3. A sweep would be nice. If you lose the series, then I hate to be like this, but I think it's probably maybe over. The NMB videos, what's going on? The Jays win. Yes, our fellow Blue Jays fan on the channel. I appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, Blue Jays had a nice comeback yesterday. I saw that. Vlad Jr. hit a home run. George Springer. Crazy to think that we would have got George Springer instead of Michael Conforto, and it pains me because I kind of wish we really did, to be honest with you guys. From Brandon, Luis Guillorme, the GOAT. Yes, Luis Guillorme is a GOAT. Sadly, he is out for a while, though. So hopefully Luis Guillorme can come back soon. I always love him. He's a great asset to this team. After that series, yeah, Hell Series, of course. What's going on? N Talk Studios, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you tuning in. Jed Carson, yes, what's going on? After the Bat series, is it to make 14 games? Yeah, Mets have to get something going, especially they have a big series coming up with the Dodgers, Giants, and Dodgers and Giants. So you got to get something rolling. Mets look they are pressing right now. Yeah, Z Sports Cards, I got to agree with you. And Baez's swing, I just 0-1, 0-2, 0-3. I just come to the point with Baez is, to be honest with you, a lot of people were kind of happy with him. And to be honest with you, I'm not too thrilled with him. I mean, the dude barely gets on base. Yeah, he came in clutch with us once, where he had the opportunity to come clutch at least 7 other games. 0 for 1, 0 for 2, 0 for 3, strike 3, sit down. So that's my thing with that's my thing with Baez. I will say he has walked a little bit. I think he has at least 3 or 4 walks, so I think he's amped it up to like 19 walks in the season. So I guess that's something good. But this dude, a high schooler who tops out at 70 miles per hour could strike him out on an 0-2 pitch. He swings at everything. He needs to chill out. Free swinger. It kills the Mets. Yeah, hopefully the off day could help. That's what I'm thinking. Hopefully. Great stream. I appreciate you, Quinton. I appreciate you. Cole, what's going on? The Phillies have so much energy than the Mets. Yeah, and it comes to the point is, well, what energy are the Mets going to show? They're slumping right now. Stop lifting a home run horse and lift weights, get more power, hit the ball harder, pull the ball the other way. I don't know what to say. I will say that the sombrero the Phillies have, that's pretty cool when they hit a home run. I like that. I will blame Francisco Lindor. Those offensive struggles. I hate him as a Mets fan. Yeah, listen, with Francisco Lindor, hopefully he could prove himself because so far when he comes back, if he plays like he did in the first half, I'm not going to be too thrilled because it just comes to the point is you're giving this dude so much money and, I don't know if it's up to you guys what you feel about the extension. From Logan, can we blame the shift? Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, a lot of our guys cannot beat the shift. Conforto, go the other way. Conforto, go the other way. Conforto's not going the other way. McNeil isn't blooping the ball just anywhere. No BABIP from him. Alonso's just hitting the ball hard, but it's resulting in pop flies. Just, you can. You could blame this on the shift. You could blame this on, finding gloves. I think a lot of these guys are just swinging at every first pitch. And I don't know what to say. I really don't. LGM, yes, Devin, what's going on, man? I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you tuning into the streams as always. And please, everyone, if you can, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications. We got a lot of stuff coming up, for the Mets. Obviously, the Mets are obviously underperforming right now. They're not really playing to, their expectations, which I don't know. To an extent, they were second half. People say, oh, the Mets are a second half team. And we have not really been seeing that so far. So I don't know. Hopefully the Mets could pull something up. I just don't know. Please, everyone, if you can, Give this video a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more great New York Mets and baseball content. If anyone has any comments or questions, please feel free to drop them below. Mets related, Red Sox related, Phillies related. Yes, most of my knowledge mainly consists around the Mets, but don't be fooled. I definitely could try to give you my answer as an outsider, as a Mets fan. I could try to give you some information. Yeah, so please give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. Sorry about that. I had to type something. I know that means the Mets can hit the ball the other way. Yeah, I mean, you know, yes, they can hit the ball the other way, but if there was no shift, a lot of these could be hits. But I see the point. Facts. Yeah, Devin, listen, all I speak is facts, man. You know me well. Zach, not too cool. YouTube, what's going on, man? I appreciate you tuning in. Fire Sandy Alderson. Yep, I definitely am firing Sandy Alderson. Braves got Soler. Yeah, that's who I was forgetting. They got another outfielder, and I forgot who it was. But yeah, that's who it was, Jorge Soler. Braves got Soler, too, who's been, yeah, pretty good since he's been traded. I agree with you. Jock Peterson, too. Michael, what's going on, man? I appreciate you tuning in. That is me, LFGM. Yes, everyone, please like, comment, subscribe. LFGM, yes. Elias, Michael, what's going on, guys? I always thought Mr. Smile was overrated like heck. Hated they give up Jimenez for him. I never liked him. He was going to be 30 years in 3 years, and I would only take the 2015 first half of 19. Yeah, I don't know. Just it's a lot going on. I don't know. Mr. Cool, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you tuning in. Zach, not too cool. Baez walked like 10 times this year. Yeah, he honestly, Baez has been walking a little bit more with the Mets. Not really been, you know, something that I didn't really expect him to walk this much. And I think he has like 4 walks with the Mets in like 10 games so far. So that's pretty good. So, you know, good for Baez. If he could get walks, I mean, you know, get him on base, get a walk. That's the only thing I think is positive about Baez is his walks. Baez could walk a lot. And if he walks, he could steal bases. And I don't know why I said he walks a lot. I meant to say he has a lot of speed and he can steal a lot of bases. My apologies. I bobbled my brain. But yeah, Baez, if he could walk, he could steal bases. And I mean, you know, stealing bases is something that's kind of lack of, you know, the speed and, you know, athleticism on the base paths. You know, I mean, Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil coming off a leg injury, Nimmo coming off a leg injury, Conforto coming off a leg injury. You know, the only guy we're really having steal bases was Lindor and VR, and VR gets picked off every 10 seconds, so it doesn't really make a difference. So honestly, if the Mets can, you know, kind of try to be like this and, you know, be aggressive on the base pass, look at a team like the Padres, the Rays, the Reds. They're aggressive on the base pass. You see Jonathan India stealing bases. You know, you see Fernando Tatis Jr. and, you know, Will Myers stealing bases. It helps. It advances the runner. You know, you don't have to rely on getting hits and extra base hits. Try to advance the runner. So, you know, yeah. Something special about this Mets team. Yeah, I don't know if you mean that in a good way or a positive way, but yeah, something is very intriguing about this Mets team. From Eric, Lindor might not hit, but he brought energy to this team they are lacking right now. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I will say it's been a little, I don't want to say depressing, but just the clubhouse energy seems a little bit quieter. I don't know. I feel like once Baez kind of came to this team, Lindor and Baez were like so happy in the dugout. And I don't know. I did enjoy that Lindor energy. You know, if they got into a jam, if the Mets were on the field and, you know, you had a runner on first and second and, you know, let's say it was like, you know, Edwin Diaz was on the bump and he was nervous, you know, then have a mound visit. You just see Lindor like being the manager. And maybe that's true, but it's like, are you going to pay a guy $341 million for that? I don't know, but I kind of feel that way. I will agree with you, Eric. Zach, home run derby ruining your swing is a myth. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you look at Juan Soto, you look at Pete Alonso for the most part so far. I agree. I mean, I think it's for the guys that are not power hitters, pretty much. If you're not a power hitter, it's going to ruin your swing. But if you're a power hitter, Gallo, Alonso, you know, Soto's even showing lights of power, then I think it won't ruin it. But if you're not a power hitter, if you're like, I don't know, then probably not. Galapagos, what's going on, man? Yeah, Alonso's proven it. I mean, he's been struggling this past 2 series. Hopefully he could wake up in this national series. Is Castellanos a free agent this year? He would be great. Yeah, I think someone told me that last night. It may have been. I don't know if it was you. Let's see. I don't know if he is a free agent. Nicholas Castellanos. Let's look at Nicholas Castellanos. Let's see if Castellanos is a free agent. Let's go on his baseball reference. It should say it on that. Drafted. Here's a first-round pick. Let's see when Nicholas Castellanos is a free agent. Yeah, I mean, you could probably throw him. I mean, depending how the Mets approach things, you could honestly throw him, anywhere in the outfield. An update on the could-be free agent. So, yeah, I think he does have an opt-out clause after this year, so he could choose to opt out. But I think with how well the Reds are playing right now, if they're going for that wild card push and they make the playoffs, that could keep him there. But he does have an opt-out, so I guess it's really up to him. Galapos, gotta believe. The Mets said gotta be positive. Yeah, but it's like, I'll be positive and I'll be happy and optimistic and believe in the team when they could hit fastballs, when they could get a hit in 5 innings and stop swinging at the first pitch. That is when I will start to be positive. Jay, what's going on, man? I appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Mets completely fumbled the deadline. Yeah, they did. You had the opportunity to go out there and get, Chris Bryant. Trevor Story. The Rockies think Trevor Story's staying. That's pretty funny. I get they want the prospects. Let's be real. They could have traded Story. The Donaldson trade, the Donaldson and Maeda trade would have been awesome. Barrios, they wanted Alvarez and McNeil. Like, heck no, that's way too much. But yeah, the Mets really fumbled this deadline. And honestly, I give full props to the Phillies. They needed pitching. They got Kyle Gibson and they got Ian Kennedy. 2 guys, if you look at my past dreams, Mets should get Kennedy, place him as a long reliever, get Gibson. I said it, but maybe Brandon Nimmo can give us some of his hustle to the teammates. Yeah, Nimmo could hustle a little bit, but obviously he is coming back from I think he had a little hamstring issue the other week, and he was on day-to-day. So obviously you don't want to pressure Nimmo too much. And honestly, I don't know what he is in terms of speed. Let's look at his baseball savant. Brandon Nimmo. What's going on, everyone? But please, if you are new to the channel, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Make an account for your dog if you need to. 91 percentile in sprint speed. So yeah, Nimmo could definitely run a bit. It's just if you want to pressure that hamstring, and with the way the Mets injuries have been, it's something you don't want to see him. I like Nimmo. He's not gonna have power, but he'll hit for a high average or high on base percentage. He'll walk a lot, and he could be an RBI. That's what I like. Jack in the Box, what's going on, man? I hope you're doing well. Jose Martinez may be back. I did hear that. Yeah, I did hear Martinez could potentially be back. I heard he was Port St. Lucie, I want to say. Quite recently, I heard he was doing some utility drills. So yeah, maybe that is a strong possibility. I don't know how the Mets are going to rely on him. Nice veteran presence, obviously. He is a first baseman, I believe, so I don't really know what they were going to do with him, but it's a bat in the lineup to help ignite the offense, so whatever they need to do. Yeah, Mets need to start sending people on the base pass. I agree with you, man. If Baez starts to take walks, pitchers will be forced to throw strikes to him. Yeah, that's true. If Baez starts to take walks, pitchers... Yeah, so that is true. That is true. I do like that. And obviously he is aggressive on the base paths. So that could result in some pressure if he's on the base for the guy below him. So whether it's Dom Smith coming up at the bat. So that would be pretty good. I agree with you, Joe. Zach, not too cool. Should have traded for Whit Merrifield for my Royals as he leads. Yeah, Whit Merrifield is just, you had McNeil at second. So, where would you want to put him? And I think the infield is completely packed with the Mets. And I'm upset the Mets went after an infielder. We're packed with the infield. He could play outfield. Okay. Oh, yeah, that is right. Never mind. Yeah, I guess he could play outfield. Can Pete come back to an MVP type player? That's a good question. He clearly can. Do I ever think he'll be this 2019 53 home run guy? No. Do I think he could hit 40 home runs, 35 home runs? Absolutely. I think he could drive in 100 RBIs. I think that's clearly doable. I just think if you look at Pete Alonso now, I don't know what got to him. I mean, he's striking out less. He's walking more. He's being less of a free swinger. He's chillaxing on the breaking balls in the dirt, which killed him in 2019. He's in the 90th percentile and higher for, metric barrel, slugging. He has power, and that's the thing is, and I think Pete Alonso is the only guy that I wouldn't mind hacking at pitches because he has so much power. So I wouldn't mind him swinging at a lot of pitches because he has power, and that's what happened in 2019. Maybe you could say he's not swinging as many pitches this year, so that's resulting in less chances for home runs. But, listen, home runs is only something. If he can get on base, driving runs, put up stats and good numbers, I'm fine with it. But I easily think he can. And I think, honestly, he's in a 2-series slump. From was it the Red Series? He was a monster. With the Braves series, he was a monster. Bad series in Philly, okay. New time, Pete. Alonso could definitely get in store. And yeah, I agree with you. Alonso, yeah, you're not trading him. I think Alonso will be a Met for life, in my opinion. But we got 18 people in the chat. Please, everyone, if you are new to the channel, give this video a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more great New York Mets and baseball content overall. Tell your friends about this channel and all that great stuff. Nats sweeping Mets by. That's right. You're a Nationals fan. I just realized that. I hope not. Nationals jersey. Yes, I have a Juan Soto World Series jersey on, obviously. As you guys could tell. That's a nice World Series patch. I got it at a flea market for I think it was $20, so nothing crazy. It's a pretty nice jersey, though, I'll say. I mean, I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Hopefully they don't trade him, because then that would be unfortunate. Replace Conforto with Castellanos. At this rate, I am, yeah. Happy hating. Yeah, Night Baseball and Sports. What's going on, man? I hope you are doing well. I appreciate you tuning in. If you guys do not know, Night Baseball and Sports, he runs a good YouTube channel. He mainly covers baseball, but I think he covers some other stuff too. So check him out. Check out his videos. He is a Nationals fan too, so but he covers all things. Check him out. Great guy. Appreciate you tuning in. LFGM. Yes, Logan, I appreciate you tuning in. Dog account. Yeah, make an account for your dog and subscribe. Mets need to get ready now. Yeah, Ivandos, I agree with you. The Mets need to do something now because it's coming to the point where we're going into a national series and the Mets are just sitting here not doing anything. So the Mets need to get hot today, now. If they were playing a game now, I would say they need to get hot now. Merrifield is perhaps the best value in all of baseball. Yeah, I mean, he steals bases. He's fast. He has athleticism. Yeah. I definitely could see Merrifield. I mean, obviously he's not with the Mets, but I would have no problem throwing him in the outfield. Pete Alonso is as I did agree on that. From Thomas, I think Harper's going to get MVP for the NL. Yeah, honestly, I really do think that can happen. I think that's likable. I don't know. I mean, there's not many guys you could have for MVP. Tatis is out, so that'll decrease the value. You have DeGrom out, that'll decrease the value. I mean, regardless, you don't really have. I mean, I think Winker and Castellanos have chilled down a little bit. Nothing crazy, but a little bit. Definitely still to be in the conversation for MVP, but point is they've chilled down a bit. So I think it's a possibility. But yeah, I agree. I think Soto could. I think Harper could win MVP, no doubt. Yeah, I know it is a very nice jersey. I will agree. I'm a big jersey collector. As you guys know, I am very big in jerseys and hats. Yeah, it is a nice jersey. Rojas needs to go. Make Joust the interim for the remainder of the season. Hey, listen, we're 2-1. and have 2 8th and 9th inning comebacks with Joust. So I'd be down to that. But honestly, with Rojas, though, I think it comes to the point with Rojas now is he's just coming to the point where he looks clueless. I don't think he knows what he's doing. You know, you have the opportunity to score a run. You know the Mets are not scoring runs. And you tell your pitcher not to swing the bat. Nothing to do with injuries. You know, so don't say, oh, is it because of an injury? No. He just figured, oh, well, we have Nimmo coming up, and we'd rather it be 1 out than 2 outs with Nimmo coming up. But you get the lead here. You get the lead. It made zero sense. And I think he should have been fired for that, in my opinion. All the other Royals fans I see don't want to trade him, but we need prospects and we're not contending. Yeah, I could see it from that. I mean, I'm pretty excited for Bobby Witt Jr. I think he'll be a good prospect for you guys. Yeah, his trade value could be pretty good. So you'll get some good prospects in return. Predict when Lindor will come back. Probably September. Yeah, probably last week of August, first week of September. I also think Wheeler can get Cy Young. Yeah, I think Zach Wheeler is probably going to win Cy Young at this rate. I mean, I don't really think many of the Brewers are putting up as good numbers as he is. I think Zach Wheeler is definitely the best for Cy Young. He leads the league in strikeouts, ERA merchant, whip merchant. Or if you want to go in FIP, you can. I agree with you, man. I'm probably going to go Zach Wheeler for the National League. American League, probably Carlos Rodon. Well, yeah, one of the White Sox, Carlos Rodon, Lance Lynn. Both of those guys are honestly great picks. Both of those guys are good picks. Yes, he is a Nationals fan. That is true. I believe he is a Nationals fan, but he covers all sports stuff. Show us your hat collection. Yeah, I definitely am going to have to make a video on my hat collection at some point soon. I definitely do. I definitely do want to get that because I have a lot of hats. I definitely do have a lot of hats. I'm getting a text message. Oh, whoops. I don't know who that was. Oh, well. I got a weird phone call. Hey, everyone. Karen, what's going on? I appreciate you tuning in. How many hats do you own? I probably own at least 50 to 60 at this rate. Yes. He is a Nationals fan. So, hey, I love it. Hey, listen, we're I love having Nationals fans, Mets fans. It rocks having everyone in the chat. It says, just like or dislike, no number of likes. What do you mean? Oh, for the thing. Yeah, I don't know why it does that a lot. To be honest with you, I have no idea how to fix that. But yeah, please, everyone, I like that. Give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. National League MVP. National League MVP could definitely be Bryce Harper, I feel. Yeah, Bryce Harper, I honestly think, is definitely the best. Tatis, Harper, Turner, Muncy. Yeah, those are good picks. But I think Tatis is out for a while. He could easily be if he was in. Tatis is out. Trey Turner, I think, is a valuable pick. The only thing that he doesn't do that Harper does is hit home runs. And I think that's what the people that like to see is home runs and power. Muncy, I think Muncy will get some votes, but nothing in the top 3. Freeman, yes. Soto's been balling pretty well. I could see him getting votes. All those guys you named, I could see getting some votes. AL MVP, Ohtani, Vlad, Mullins, Devers, Alexander Bogaerts, and I don't know. I think honestly Ohtani is probably the best pick, honestly. Vlad could be a runner-up. I think that's honestly the best order you put it in. Ohtani, number 1. Vlad, number 2. Mullins. Honestly, I don't exclude Matt Olson. He may get some votes. I'd probably put Olson over Mullins, to be honest with you. But I don't know I think Olson's been pretty good. MVP for Ohtani. Yeah, honestly, I think Ohtani's probably going to win MVP, to be honest with you. Goes out there every day and he's able to do stuff. I mean, he's a wizard. MVP Ohtani, I agree. As a Dodgers MVP would be hard because the team is stacked. That's true. And FYI, Turner could have a 30-30 year this season. He could be 18 home runs and stolen bases. Yeah, I agree with. Oh yeah, never mind. Wait. Oh yeah, I thought you were talking about Justin Turner. Whoops. Trey Turner. See, I'm new to this. See, I'm not used to having 2 Turners on the Dodgers. So when you said Turner, I was like, I don't think he's stealing any bases. I was Trey Turner. Yeah, honestly, I could definitely see and that's a good point you bring up there. Night Baseball and Sports is that the Dodgers are stacked. I mean, obviously, you don't have Cody Bellinger in MVP form. You don't have Mookie Betts in MVP form. You know, if you could have a 2018, 2019 Bellinger, 2020 Mookie Betts, a current Trey Turner, that's awesome. I mean, that's MVP territory right there. And then, a first half Muncy in place, that'd be awesome. But yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely going to be picked. And that's the only thing that I think is going to separate Trey Turner with the other guys is they don't hit home runs. So he's not good. I don't know. He steals bases. He can have a 30-30 season, like you said. He'll steal bases. He'll hit for a high average. He'll hit for an eye, WRC plus, all that great stuff. Doesn't hit home runs. And apparently nowadays everyone loves home runs, and that's all MLB, Instagram, and Twitter posts about. Vlad for MVP? Yeah, I think Vlad could definitely be a fair option. I mean, he's contending pretty well so far this season. Vlad, he's putting up good numbers. I can't agree. I did see him play so far this season. Trey Turner. Knock versus Trey is advanced. Metrics like WRC plus, WOBA, where his numbers are low, he's unlikely to win MVP. Trey Turner. Let's look at Trey Turner baseball. Let's look at his baseball savant, folks. To be honest with you, I am not into analytics. But please, everyone, if you can, give this video a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more great content. Okay, taking a look at Trey Turner and his numbers this season. I mean, honestly, like we said, he doesn't get barrels, it seems, and he doesn't walk a lot, which makes sense. If he walked a lot, he would have much more stolen bases. He's in the 100th percentile in sprint speed. Go figures. So far, 18 homers, 49 ribbies, 22 stolen bases, 321 average, and an 887 OPS. Yeah, these are good numbers. We could see he destroys fastballs. So maybe Trey Turner can come to the Mets and teach them how to hit fastballs. Breaking pitches, he's pretty solid. The off-speed pitches is what he gets. He doesn't have power on off-speed pitches, but he seems to, kind of just knock the ball in play, whether it's a BABIP or get some whiffs on him. Let's see. I mean, his power's down. I mean, it seems a lot of his numbers are down compared to 2020 and 2019, whether it's expected batting average, WOBA, slugging, which makes sense. I mean, he's not a power guy, which is fine. I mean, I love Vlad too. I think Vlad is obviously a great player, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And the Blue Jays have been on something else. Honestly, do I think they'll win the division? I think they have a strong possibility. Sorry about that. Vlad's going to go on a cold streak, I believe. I think his season this year, Miners, he won't produce. Vlad's going to go on a cold streak, I believe. I think his season this year mirrors Bellinger's 2019. Ooh, that's a good take, Jay. I like that take. He won't produce like this again. Yeah, I mean, Vlad's been something else. With Vlad Jr. was, he came up, he lost 45 pounds this offseason, and it really helped him. It helped him generate more power, I guess. It just helped him somehow. So, obviously, I think the weight factor is contributing to change of performance. But yeah, that's an interesting take. I like that. Bellinger, I don't know what it is with Bellinger. I mean, let's take a look at his savant. I mean, Cody Bellinger, I mean, he's getting a little hot. He had a nice series with the Angels. But I think it's going to be a challenge, obviously, and it's been rough so far. Obviously, try to get Vlad Jr. back on Cody Bellinger back on, pretty much on track. But it pretty much just says, he ended 2019 with a slash line of 304, 406, and 629 and a 7.8 WAR line. That's pretty much awesome. But yeah, I don't really know what happened with him. It's pretty unfortunate. I think it really comes down to the hard hit rate really went against his favor. His WRC plus is going down. The O swing percentage is kind of not really making much. I don't know. I really don't know. I like Bellinger to get hot. Not against the Mets, though. Devin, do you think Sabermetrics ruined baseball? Yeah, a little bit, honestly. I think it comes to the point I think it's good to have, but I think it comes to the point where, it's like, oh, this guy's XPCX2 is 2% lower. He's a bad baseball player. Like, I'm not really into analytics and sabermetrics personally. I'm old school. I like the old eye test, and that's how you determine a player. I think it's interesting to know, I think we rely, too much on analytics. And don't get me wrong, it's not always true. I don't know. It's not always true. Personally, I'm not too big on analytics. I'm pretty old school. I'm fine with, on base percentage, average ribbies, and stolen bases. I could, and home runs. I don't care about X WOBA, and nothing crazy. Is Trey a free agent after this year? Yes, Trey Turner is a free agent after. No, you're good. It's not a dumb question, man. Yes, Trey Turner is a free agent after this year. I think it's going to come to the point is what will Trey Turner do? And that's what I found interesting is that the Nationals traded Trey Turner away. And it came to the point so they're pretty much saying that the Nationals aren't going to contend next year. Yes, if Trey Turner walks, you're not getting anything in return. But there's a trade deadline next year where if you're playing bad, you could get rid of him. So that's why I find it interesting that the Nationals got rid of Trey Turner this year rather than next year. I don't know. So we'll see. He is a free agent, I think, following 2022. So it pretty much shows that they're not going to contend next year, which is interesting. Mr. Cool, I like the Blue Jays have the home run jacket. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Angels have the rally monkey. Mets have the horse. Blue Jays have the jacket. What else is there? I don't know. There's a lot of cool ones I like. She doesn't agree about Vlad. Yeah, well, we'll see about Vlad. No, he's under control. I thought he was a free agent. I don't know. We'll have to see. I love the Blue Jays. Rough 2 years for them since COVID. Yeah, Florida, Buffalo, and Toronto. Yeah, they definitely hung in there. They've had like 1 million homes. So, good for the Blue Jays. They've showed up, and good to see them back in Rogers Center, the fans of Toronto to have. Yeah, time will tell. That is what we have. Following 2022 is when he will be a free agent. Yes, I don't know if he has any opt-outs or anything like that, but yes, following 2022, he will be a free agent. So, we'll see how he does with that. That's all we could do is see. But yeah, please, everyone, if you can, give this video a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, probably going to take a couple more questions. So yeah, if you have any more questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to drop them in the comments section below. Gotta pay attention to those. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I saw Simeon had it on. Pretty much, I think it's whenever they had a home run, they put it in a jacket. It's like a leather jean denim jacket, and it has like stitches of like the Blue Jays and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I recommend Google it or see it up on YouTube. Giovanni, great stream. I appreciate you tuning in, man. As always, I appreciate you tuning in. I want to go back up to some comments up here because I believe I did skip a couple. From Quentin, I have to be honest. When the Mets hit those 3 home runs back to back, I thought it would start off something like, yeah, I agree with you. I was really hoping that it would really start something for the Mets. And sadly, it didn't. You know what? That's life. Sadly, it didn't start anything. But you never know. It's never too late. They could always get something in the National Series. From Brandon, Luis Guillorme, the GOAT. Yeah, Luis Guillorme is the GOAT. Luis Guillorme is definitely, Luis Guillorme is the GOAT. We love Luis Guillorme. He comes in when it's, just simply enough. When it's needed, he comes in. and he's just a great utility player overall. Great stream. Yes, I appreciate everyone saying great stream. Means a lot. LFGM, yes. An article I'm reading says the Dodgers could use Turner in a utility type capacity for the remainder of the season and plug him in as a regular shortstop. Yeah, I think that honestly it comes to the part is, are they going to do anything with Corey Seager? I believe Corey Seager just came back. So we're going to have to see. Corey Seager, he's been pretty solid for them. I mean, last year he really was like an MVP type player. Honestly, I just don't want them to have the competition of, Trey Turner trying to compete with Corey Seager. You never like to see that. Please, everyone, if you can, give this video a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Take a couple more questions. So Trey Turner will be with the Dodgers till 2022. Yes, that is correct. That is correct, my friend. But we got 12 people in the chat. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Sadly, terms of the Mets, it's not super crazy. But we had a good stream. Got some great people in the chat, a ton of new people. Always appreciate that, and some regulars, of course. But we went over the Mets and Phillies series summary, Mets and Washington Nationals series preview. So we're just gonna see what the Mets team could bring to the table. Hopefully they could bring something good, because it comes to the point where I think this series is, I don't want to say it's going to be the deciding factor, but I think it'll definitely start to put some momentum in the guys' heads, and I just don't want these guys to think too much. Yeah, if anyone has any more comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to drop them regarding the Mets, baseball, whatever you guys have in store. Please feel free to drop it below. Otherwise, we'll probably call it a stream here in a bit. Like we said, Mets games tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully the Mets and Nationals can get something going. Check Twitter, see if there's anything new on Twitter that I want to share. Let's see. Always like to check Twitter. Please, everyone. LFGM, yes. LFGM, Mr. Cool. Yes, today is an off day. Today is an off day. I'm going to leave now. Hopefully the Mets can get some momentum. Go Royals and bye. Yeah, I appreciate you tuning in, Zach. Not Too Cool YouTube. I appreciate you tuning in, man. Yeah, honestly, probably going to do the same. Probably going to call it a stream here. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you can, give this video a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, call it a stream here. Till next time, baseball fans. See ya.